This problem is a difference of two rational expressions. In order to subtract two rational expressions, we need to have a common denominator. So the first thing I'm going to do is factor this denominator into p plus q times p minus q. It's a difference of two squares. So my least common denominator then will be p plus q times p minus q. Now, our first rational expression we can leave the way it is, but we'll leave it in its factored form. So we'll have 3p squared plus 3pq divided by p plus q times p minus q. But our second rational expression, we have to multiply top and bottom by the same polynomial so that we get the least common denominator. So we have 3p minus 2q divided by p minus q, and we're going to have to multiply by p plus q over p plus q. Now let's do that multiplication. So we're going to have 3p squared plus 3pq, and then we have a minus sign. And then we're going to need to multiply 3p minus 2q times p plus q. And this is all going to be over our common denominator now of p minus q times p plus q. So let's do our multiplication, and then let's simplify. So I'm going to have 3p squared plus 3pq minus, again, let's do our multiplication, 3p squared plus 3pq minus 2pq minus 2q squared. And this is all over our least common denominator of p minus q times p plus q. The next step is to simplify this rational expression. To do so, let's run our negative through first and then combine like terms. So what we'll have is 3p squared plus 3pq minus 3p squared minus 3pq plus 2pq plus 2q squared. And this is still all over our least common denominator of p minus q times p plus q. Now, combining our like terms on the top, these 3p squareds add up to 0, so they go away. These 3pq's also add up to 0, and we're simply left with 2pq plus 2q squared divided by our least common denominator, p minus q, times p plus q. Now, if we factor the top, factor out the greatest common factor of 2q, we'll be left with p plus q all over p minus q times p plus q. Now we have like factors of p plus q. We'll cancel those out, and we're left with our solution, which is 2q divided by p minus q.